Hey, you! I'm your nutrition coach. My name is Jackie Poole. Welcome to Happiness is a Healthier Habit. Let's get today's episode started. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, I want to talk about, because we're still in this new year, new me, new resolution. I want to get better. I want to stay motivated. I want to continue these habits that I've been working on. I really want to talk about something that completely transformed my energy lately with my fat loss, and honestly my entire day. Like, I am such a believer of morning sets the tone for your entire day, and there's no ifs buts about it, but it does start at night. And so a lot of people ask me, why do you wake up so early? How do you stay motivated? And honestly, I've been doing this for years. I think after my second son, if I remember correctly, because I needed more time. I was working. I was tired after work. I was just trying to find a rhythm, right? I always felt like I was rushing in the mornings. I was so reactive. And I did a mornings habits. I think it was one of the first episodes I did for the podcast. Like one of the first ones. So you can see how that changes to the one we're going to be talking about today. But it's really changed the way I feel. And it's made such a difference in how I go about my day, the intentions that I have, what I want to fuel my body, taking a little time for myself. That mindset really shifts for me. And so mornings, and I am such a proponent of this because you've never felt like your mornings are chaotic or struggling when you stay consistent. And let me tell you a little bit about my morning, because it amazes me that we get so much done. So, we wake up at a certain time every day. I make breakfast, the kids do their thing. And as school year has gone, I do more and more in the mornings. So I do my walks. I, do my focus sessions if I have a little, focus session that I need to get in. And I do breakfast, and I'm taking showers in the morning, and I'm washing the dishes, and the kitchen is clean. And all of this is done within like a 2-hour period. And so it didn't start like that, right? When we have to get into the routines and in the habits, but, we were eating and then we had to leave. We had to go to school. And now the kids are done with their breakfast. I'm washing dishes. They are playing. And so I really want to dive into that, right? If you're really struggling to stay consistent with how to do habits, I think this episode is going to be really good for you. So let's go ahead and dive in. So I want to start off by saying, wake up before the kids. I think that is such a great example that you give to your family. As I heard this the other day, as the captain of the ship, right? Your kids are looking up to you, and you need that me time. That is like a non-negotiable, right? So one of the biggest game changers for me, and I think for my clients as well, is waking up before the world needs you before you have to go and grab your phone and reply to work messages or, Facebook or notifications or emails or, the kids wake up. I think especially if you're a mom, this is huge. Giving yourself, even 30 minutes like before the kids are up really allows you to be proactive instead of reactive, right? And I think I've noticed that this year because I've added a lot of more breathing techniques in the morning to just kind of slow me down. And I know I'm less snappy, I'm more calm. I think twice about how I'm going to say that. And so the morning routines really start with sleep and our night routine. And it's important, for most people to understand that if you're sleeping late, obviously you're not going to be able to wake up early or, add to that as well. So you really want to make sure that you have a nice sleeping routine where you improve the quality of your sleep. So whether it's getting to bed earlier so you can wake up and have time for yourself, to kind of get that routine and allow yourself to try to start waking up 15-30 minutes earlier. And so I would just start by changing your alarm 15 minutes at a time. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, anything drastic. I love, that first episode that I talked about earlier, I called it baby steps because that's what we're taking. We are taking baby steps, things that you can do to allow progression, to make the most change without feeling like it's overwhelming. And that's what I want. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed with all of the things that we're going to be talking about today, but it's just taking baby steps. And, I think one of the examples, I'm currently working with a client and, she's gotten this routine down where, she's waking up, she's doing her 15-minute workout. And now she's like, well, I think I can make my walk longer. I want to make my walk longer. And I want to add a couple of agility drills because she's in a kickball league here. And so she's like, I want to add some things to kind of help with speed. And so I want to add this. So as she is progressing with her habits and she is finding more time to add these things because she's created that routine. Remember, when we have habits automate things, they make things faster. And so when we think about that, you have to start somewhere. And so when we talk about sleep, just change your alarm 10 minutes and then the next week add another 10 minutes and then so forth. Don't make it feel like it's so overwhelming. Okay, next, we're going to be talking about the first thing that you should be doing in the morning, right? Let's talk about dehydration. So when we go 8 to 9 hours of sleep, even 6 to 7, you wake up dehydrated. And that can lead to feeling tired, maybe feeling craving for sugars. A lot of people, when they're tired, when they're feeling fatigue, it's most likely because they are dehydrated. So this is why I always start with a warm lemon water. You can also add electrolytes in the morning if that's something that you want to do. In the mornings, I started this year with just 10 ounces. I hadn't been consistent with it. And now that we're back on routine, I'm doing like 40 in the morning once I head out the door. So I'm making sure I have like a mug with warm water and just sipping through that throughout the morning and making sure I hit those 40 ounces before I walk out the door. So that's just a good way to have a cup, a special thing that you have ready to go. So it kind of triggers that memory, right? So again, you want to make sure you're drinking water, it can just start with 8 ounces, 10 ounces first thing in the morning. And within that hour of getting up, I always like to say hour, 90 minutes, because it usually takes me a little longer to get my breakfast once I get up. But within that hour, 90 minutes, also add a protein packed breakfast, because if you start your day with protein, you will have better energy, you will be more focused, and honestly, those cravings make such a huge difference. So we want to make sure we're staying hydrated and we're having a good breakfast in the morning. I'm not a big proponent of, unless you're doing a fast, but skipping breakfast, because if we are trying to hit protein goals, you are going to be falling behind if we're skipping breakfast, right? So we want to make it at least 25, 30 grams of protein at breakfast. So that is a pro tip for you today, is to hit those. And if you don't know how to track those, that's something that we definitely talk about in the coaching program, as far as learning how much protein looks like, and the different types of meats, and what kinds of protein should we be eating. So that is something that is very helpful, because it creates that awareness of the choices that you're making throughout the day as a lifestyle. You really want to understand why you're doing the things that you're doing, not just saying like, okay, Jackie said to eat 25 grams of protein, this looks like it. So it's really good to understand why and how we do that, and even tracking a little bit here and there, just to create that awareness. Okay, the next one is definitely going to be moving your body. So if you want to boost your metabolism, if you want to manage stress and really feel energized, movement is key. Whether this looks like a walk outside of your home, whether it's just doing a couple of reps in your garage. I mean, I'm not talking about an hour at the gym here. I'm talking about something quick, 15-minute workout, walking in the morning. I'm really a big believer that, those walks in the mornings really help release that energy, so it taps into those fat stores, because you are fasting, right? And so that really helps regulate hormones like cortisol. I mean, besides, you get your mind to be clear, and you're really ready to start the day. You start with a win. That is something that a lot of my clients have enjoyed. When they can do it, like, they feel so much better when they get that movement out, when they get that fresh air out in the morning, when they're not thinking about anything else but just wandering outside. And I know the weather can really play a factor into that, but even doing it twice a week, on the weekends, in the morning, I think that would be such a great help to just feel more energized. And I think to really feel it and, try, I think you really have to try it out for a while and see and reap the benefits of it. Because from what I've gathered from some of the clients that I've worked with, is they feel so much energized, because they're not giving like the hour at the gym. It's just a quick boost of energy, right? We move a little bit, our cortisol is already a little bit high in the morning, and we're adding a little bit of a walk, so it actually helps us more focused. We feel more alive and awake, and just that boost of energy is really going to help kind of kickstart the day without needing coffee or something to wake you up, like a stimulant or anything like that. And so with that being said, I talked a little bit about breath work and mindfulness, which is something that I've added to these habits, because I've really seen the difference this month, and I've been super consistent with it. Mornings are really rushed when I'm telling you, I make breakfast. You got to wake up the kids. Sometimes they don't want to wake up or they're not having a good day. The stress that I feel when I don't do my breathing techniques or my breathing sessions, I feel overwhelmed with what I have to do, right? And I just went through the whole lineup of what we're doing. And so mornings can be a little bit hectic, but they're my favorite part of the day because I don't feel like it's challenging, because I have this grasp of just one, gratitude, but two, just like it's going to be a great day. The breathing techniques are very calming. They help me establish this mindset of kind of slowing down and focusing on how my morning is going to look. So I kind of visualize, what am I cooking today? How long am I walking today? Where am I going today? And just kind of really see the end game of the progression of my day. And so I already know what's going to happen when I'm doing these breathing techniques and I'm visualizing a great day. And so it really helps me focus on just shaping that mindset for the rest of the day. So one of the things that I really recommend is just doing like belly breathing. And it can start with 3, deep breaths and, what are you grateful for in the morning? You can start by saying it's going to be a great day as soon as you wake up, making your bed in the morning, and just laying down and sitting there with your thoughts. I think it's very powerful to really calm our nervous system down before we get started. And so this is going to set the tone for setting intentions and really prioritizing you. So instead of letting the day feeling, control you, so you're feeling overwhelmed, it really just starts with 2 minutes of, what am I going to prioritize today? What is my non-negotiable today? Think about that. If you want to write it on your to-do list, that will help you make it happen. This really helps you stay focused, reduce stress, make it easier to stick to the healthy habits, right? And especially for my mamas who are focusing on losing weight, predominantly focusing on reducing fat, right? If that is your goal, if that is your intention, you can always start by thinking, in the morning, I'm going to make breakfast a priority. I'm going to hit my protein goal. That's going to somehow keep you accountable. Get a friend, get a partner that's really going to be there with you. So when you start your day with this plan, with this intention, with what you want to do, you're likely to fall into the stress of either skipping meals, skipping workouts, or, losing that confidence because you could be like, oh, I said I was going to do it and I didn't. And so that also kind of takes away from the confidence. And so to improve and increase that confidence, the more action you take, the easier it's going to do. You're going to feel, great, accomplished, that you did something that was hard and it's becoming easier. And so write down your priorities in the morning. What are your non-negotiables before your day starts, before checking the phone, before you have to start your routines? And you're really going to find that is going to make a huge impact on your decision makings for the rest of the day and as a lifestyle as well. And so, final thoughts, I want to end it with this. Your morning does not have to be perfect, but you should be intentional. Even if it's just adding one of the things that we talked about today, one of these habits can make a huge difference. So I want to challenge you today to pick one thing from today's episode and really commit to it for the next 7 days. And then if you want to message me and let me know how it goes, I love hearing these things. So you could always text it to me on the show notes below. There's a little text button that you can, text. And, I want to help you make your mornings really work for you. And so I love this because I get the same feedback from all of my clients. When I say you're going to get results, I'm also speaking about adding time into your life, adding things that you thought you didn't have time for, and now you're creating time. So I love to hear that because I am working with a mom right now, right? And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm doing my steps, I'm walking my dogs, I'm doing laundry and getting the dishes done in the morning, and I feel good. So I have more time in the afternoons. I'm not as rushed. And the laundry's getting put away. Like, as a mom, that is difficult to do sometimes. And so creating time so you're not dealing with like, what I need to do this, I need to do that later on. It really help you enjoy your kids, enjoy your family even more than what you currently are doing, right? So if this episode helped you, please share it with a friend who needs a morning reset. And if you're ready to take your fat loss and habits to the next level, please message me. I would love to work with you and get started, because it really truly does make a difference. As the captain of my ship, I see how my kids see me, and they are following through. They are doing the things to help themselves as well. And so whatever behavior that you are taking really does impact them. So it just takes one step and one habit at a time. So thank you for joining me, and we'll chat next time.